I'm Leroy Fisher. I'm a proud resident of Hunting Park, lifelong resident and community member and community worker. I remember as a young kid having my father watch me play in my first football game. I got hit and got hurt in the game, but my father wouldn't baby me. He said, hey, you get up and you get back in the game. And I got back in the game and I was able to make a difference. And it just felt like, wow, here in this park, I go back to that memory of my father, and I remember, growing as a man, growing into the man that I am now. I remember it so vividly. I'm a 13-year-old teenager, and the park is not as appealing with the onslaught of drugs and prostitution. It just felt like the park had fallen on hard times, and the investment into the park wasn't taking place. Playing football, we played football on the concrete and in the middle of the street, avoiding cars. But we had to make do, because the option was to go into a park where, hey, if you're running around, you could fall on needles, or you could, get hurt, or somebody could do something to you. It felt at that time like a big chunk of me had been taken away. You take so much pride in the park and so many activities. When that's taken away from you, it's a dark place in your life. It feels like it's a void. There's a void there. There's something missing. Without the Conservancy's help, this park is still barren with just 2 swings. Okay, nobody's using this park. So hey, let's set up shop here. Let's make a difference here. Everything came together. The Conservancy is looking for a signature project to do and make a difference in the community. We convene the community. We ask the community to come in and, hey, talk about your needs. What do you need here in the park that will make this park a better place, make people more excited and more interested in coming into the park? Those initial meetings were heavily attended by members of the surrounding community, all races, all genders, all ages. And you got to see that we all share a common desire to have a better living environment. And this park being our living environment, we all came together and we gave our ideas, and the Conservancy ran with it. Wow. Okay, just to think, in 2 to 3 years' time, we've been able to build 2 playgrounds, a state-of-the-art baseball field, new lighting throughout the park. These things were accomplished in such a record time. I mean, we still have projects that are going on, fixing up the dilapidated football field, sprucing up a rec center that really wasn't a good place to come into all the time. So many organizations came in, fresh coat of paint, clean up. We've been able to build a community garden and harvest food and eat food out of our community garden. And that's just the major projects. We're not talking about making the park more beautiful with signage and rose bushes. So when people drive through, they look and they say, wow, this is a nice park. Where years ago, they would drive through and say, I gotta get out of this park. There's such a pride that's going on. People say, you know what, that's my home. They acknowledge that they live in Hunting Park, that Hunting Park is on an upward spiral. It's changing from its previous image to something positive now. With the aid of the Conservancy, we've been able to make this park into a place where everybody wants to bring their families and their children, just as my family did when I was a little kid.